The purchase she was making today was a significant one. This painting would take up the final bare patch of wall that had been reserved for one of Todd's photographs. Symbolically, the alteration in interior decoration would place the past behind her, usually the best place for it. Her apartment would cease to be a haunted house of forget-me-nots that she was constantly tripping over. Marshall could only hope that a final step away from Todd might become a long-awaited first step towards him. But he had no intention of pushing the matter. By force he had gained mastery over the art of patience. He believed the day was coming when Audrey would see him for who he was, the man of the dreams she was yet to have. He also knew that this truth would dawn on her when she was ready for it, and not a minute sooner. Until then, he was settled in his role of best male buddy. Moments came when the situation cost him a twinge of self-pity, but then they passed as he had trained them to do. He managed to survive her near marriage to Todd without going out of his mind. Compared to that dark period, what he now tentatively called living was a saunter, even if not a romantic one, in the park. He was no fool. Marshall knew that pining away from such proximity was not the healthiest habit. His mock love life conducted over the past several years illustrated this. He just couldn't allow himself to get serious about anyone else when the woman he truly wanted was tantalizingly near. Nor was he able to walk away so long as hope possessed a pulse. On several occasions he attempted to go cold turkey from Audrey, but it never took. Nothing felt better to him than the act of waiting for her. As long as he believed it wasn't in vain, he was able to justify his presence. Besides, a little torture was good for him since he happened to be a writer. His bills were paid through various freelance articles that were penned for magazines, whose editors appreciated his way with words. What he believed he was meant to be was a lauded novelist. Every sentence written for something other than the book he had been working on for the last 3 years felt like time that could have been spent in a more satisfying manner. But until his book was finished and a lucrative publishing contract in hand, there were bills to be paid and an extensive journalism resume that allowed him to take care of them. He moved from project to project at the expense of fictional stories he longed to share with the world, and perhaps at greater expense to contentment of soul, or so it seemed when his mood made him prone to exaggerated melancholy. Much like his romantic predicament, he considered his writing career to be in a state of limbo until fate ushered him where he was meant to be, a place that seemed close yet distant. "Oh, it's my jam. Could you turn that up, please?" The salesman obliged, and the store became filled with the voice of Gloria Estefan urging everyone to do the conga. Audrey obeyed Gloria's request and started to dance, oblivious to onlookers. It was at moments such as these, when she set her cares free and allowed herself to be as silly as she pleased, that Marshall loved her most of all. Unfortunately, moods such as this had been the exception rather than the norm for some time. She had chosen to deal with her heartbreak, not by dancing to oldies but goodies, but primarily by burying herself in work. Marshall knew that neither dancing nor working could push away the worries and obligations of the world for long, but it was human nature to make an earnest attempt.